In today's video, we're going to break down the top 7 places to live that are near Orlando, but not necessarily in Orlando. Maybe you're relocating to the Orlando area. And the one thing that you know right now is that you don't want to actually live too close to actual Orlando. For whatever that reason may be, we got you covered. That's what we're talking about today. So don't go anywhere. You're gonna like this. One of the things that I get asked a lot by people that are moving here is, we want to be close to Orlando, but they don't exactly want to live in Orlando. I totally get it too. Orlando is a huge area, and a lot of people that aren't familiar with this area, one of the main things they think about is the theme park. And for a lot of people that aren't familiar with our area, they don't realize how big it is, and they think that, we're just surrounded by all these theme parks and all these stores that cater to the theme parks, and that is just Mickey Mouse and Universal Studios 24/7. And what's really cool is that my team and I, we work with a lot of families that are relocating from different areas. They're maybe not that familiar with the Orlando area, so we get to really help them explore and to just see how many different areas and options are available to them and what their individual needs are. Now, the good news is that Orlando is surrounded by cities and suburbs that offer something for just about anybody's taste. Now, even though what is considered the best can be very subjective and up to personal preferences, we put together a top 7 list of the best neighborhoods or suburbs that are near Orlando, but not necessarily in Orlando. This list is all of these are going to be within a 20-mile radius of Orlando city limits. Now, how we came up with this list was really creating a 20-mile radius and handpicking the 7 most that we typically find are mentioned the most when it comes to questions about quality of life, amenities, the housing market. So we're not going to waste any time. We're going to dive right into this. And if we miss anything or if you have any questions, please drop us a comment and let us know. And if you haven't subscribed yet, definitely do that as well. Let's go. So number 1 on this list is a town that I've talked about, quite a few times in the past. It is Winter Park. Winter Park is often at the top of a lot of people's lists, and for good reason. It's known for its upscale dining, its upscale shopping, especially along Park Avenue, which is probably one of the most popular areas in all of Winter Park. There's, aside from the shops and the restaurants and the shopping, you've got a great courtyard area. People go there to walk their dogs. There's farmers markets, there's festivals. At the north end of Winter Park, you also have the Charles Homer Museum, as well as the Winter Park 9, which I think is probably one of the oldest public golf courses in all of Central Florida. The vibe there and the atmosphere, the brick-lined roads and streets, especially on the Orange County side of Winter Park, it is a huge part of the reason why it's one of the most sought-after communities in the area. You're probably anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes away from getting into downtown, but it doesn't really feel like it, and you really don't ever have to go that far if you don't want to. You're going to find a lot of older construction over there, especially as you get closer to the hub of Winter Park, but what we're also seeing a lot right now over there as well is a lot of custom new construction homes being built. Number 2 on this list is Maitland, which is actually not that far from Winter Park. I think a good way to describe Maitland is that it's got a really good blend of business and residential areas. Maitland in itself has got a lot to offer. They've got some great cultural centers. They've got amazing dinner movie theater at the Enzion, which is a really cool experience. They've got a cool farmers market over there as well. One of my favorite restaurants to go to is actually in Maitland. It's called Teak. If you're into casual spots, especially burgers, this is definitely a great spot to check out. One of the exciting things coming to Maitland, though, is the Maitland Social Project. They bought an old bank that they are renovating, and it's going to have various different vendors in there for a lot of food choices as well as some shopping. And that's going to be exciting to see that complete, because it's just going to be another amenity that Maitland has there to offer. Coming in at number 3 is Altamont Springs, and that's actually close kind of to where I live. We actually live on the north end, technically in Seminole County, and Altamont is a neighboring city. This suburb sits on the north end, like I said, of the Orlando area. It offers a great mix of residential and commercial areas. Cranes Roost Park and Uptown Altamont is probably what would be considered the hub of that area. It's right next to the mall. And again, in that central location, you're going to find a lot of great places for shopping and for eating in restaurants and things like that. They've got a Whole Foods over there, which is, you're not going to find a ton of them in the Orlando area. So that's definitely a sticking point for some people, is to be close to either Whole Foods or some place like a Trader Joe's. There's only like a handful around, in this area, even though we're so large. Another cool thing that recently came to Altamont just last month was they now also have automated shuttle shuttle service that will drive you around that Cranes Roost area. If you haven't seen those yet, definitely check them out. The first time I saw them was actually down in Lake Nona when we were doing a video out there. And just like a month later, literally, I see that they're coming to Altamont. So we've got a blog link down in the description if you want to read out more about that. Another Seminole County area that made the list is Oviedo. Oviedo is interesting because it's a blend of some historic homes as well as newer construction post-2000. 20, 30, 40 years ago, this was more of what was considered a rural area. It's still known for its chickens that like to walk around the downtown area. But that small town feel has really exploded with some modern amenities, and a lot of that is thanks to the University of Central Florida. As UCF has really exploded and grown over the last 10 years, so has Oviedo with just in terms of the amount of amenities that they do have to offer. One of our favorite places to go actually in Oviedo is Arcade Monsters. It's right off of Alafaya. Great time. A lot of older classic games. For any of you millennials out there like me, you'll definitely appreciate it. Number 5 on our list is one that we often see a lot as well on other people's lists, and that is Windermere. Windermere is going to be more on the western side of the Orlando metro area, and it sits along inside of the Butler chain of lakes. So if you're into boating, if you like luxury homes, if you're just into a higher standard of living, Windermere is definitely going to be one of the areas that you'd want to check out. It's a great area because it's close enough to the theme parks, but it still can feel like you're 1,000 miles away. For number 6, we're going to head back up north into Seminole County, and we're going to visit Lake Mary. Lake Mary, in case you didn't know this, is often referred to as one of the best places to live in all of Central Florida. We've been fortunate to work with quite a few families in the Lake Mary area, and what's attractive about that area is that you're, number one, it's a very central location. You're not that far from Orlando and downtown, probably anywhere about 20, 30 minutes, depending on where you're at in Lake Mary, but you're also only about 30 to 40 minutes away from the beach side in Daytona, in that area. Lake Mary in general has a pretty good economy. A lot of households there, median household incomes above what is average. High quality schools and a variety of dining and shopping options as well. One of the exciting things right now that's coming to Lake Mary, and residents on the east side are going to be really pumped up about this, is the King's Crossing development that is underway. One of the main anchor stores is going to be a Publix, which I know that area over there is in dire need. I know some residents that live over on the east side of Lake Mary, and they either, on average, they have to travel anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes right now, 20 minutes or longer to get to a Publix, and some even have to go into Volusia. So I know that's going to be great for them. And again, it's just going to be another added thing to that Lake Mary area that makes it, so sought after. And last but not least, for number 7 on our list of the best areas to live, not in Orlando, but near Orlando, is going to be Winter Garden. This might not be that big of a surprise to some of you that really know this area, because this is another town like some of the other ones that we've mentioned. A lot of historic history there and charm, but with some great modern amenities. The Winter Garden downtown area on Plant Street has just continued to reinvent itself. A lot of cool small businesses in that location, as well as new restaurants and things that continue to pop up. The West Orange Trail is a big allure for the Winter Garden area, and that runs right through the Plant Street market area as well. They've got one of the best farmers markets on that side of town. And depending on where you're at in Winter Garden, especially if you are on the southern end, which is more what's considered the up-and-coming Horizons West area, you are right out the back door of Disney World. So if Disney World is your thing, then Winter Park, especially the Horizons West area, might be someplace to consider. All the neighborhoods and towns that we talked about today, they all offer their own unique qualities and attractions. So as I mentioned in the beginning, what is going to best fit your needs is really going to come down to your individual preferences. My team and I are working with families every single day who are relocating to and from the Orlando area. So if you are thinking about making a move, we'd love to be a real estate resource for you. Leave us a comment, send us a DM if you have any questions. And if you haven't already subscribed, please smash that subscribe button. We appreciate the feedback. Thank you guys so much. And until next time, I'm Don Sprenkel. We're living in Orlando, Florida.